Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, light warriors, old souls, evolving beings. How are you doing? It is December 9th, and a lot has gone on, especially from the 4th until the 8th, partway through yesterday. So if you are completely friggin' knocked out, exhausted, doubting yourself, self-sabotaging, and doing everything under the sun, there actually were quite a few reasons for it. Um, and one of the hard things to differentiate for those who have been with me for a while is that if you have evolved to a certain level and you're not newly awakened, you have the beautiful responsibility or added light that makes you part of the collective, which, of course, if you are shining your light so bright, you are seen. And being seen means that you have the ability to influence way more beings around you. And in that beautiful light arena, people are making choices in the astral as to where they want to put their energies and how they want to evolve in the coming years. So it's almost as though a certain contract has come up and you are finishing these contracts that you may still not have put to rest. And therefore, old issues will arise. This always seems to happen when a big traditional holiday is coming up, especially when the holiday is grounded in historical lies. Need I say more? I'm going to let you read between the lines on that one. But I will fill in the fact that December 25th was no birth date of anyone, and it is more an S date. So when we continue with old patterns, old beliefs, we actually are playing into it if we're not conscious about it. Am I telling you you can't do any of the traditions? No. But I am helping you put the intent behind the tradition to enjoy it without making it a lie. Gathering together with people you love is wonderful. However, setting boundaries is just as important. Because if you continue to let people come into your lives to siphon your energy, you are the one that is basically telling the universe you're not ready to evolve further. And don't let this scare you. We all mess up at certain points. We all do things at certain points. The universe is very loving and very caring, and we are evolving and ascending nonetheless. The question is, do you want to make it painful and hard, or do you want to kind of go with the flow, resolve the issues of the things that you can't control, and move on? People at this point have made their choices. No matter how much you talk and try to save others or change their minds or show them an alternative, you may not be able to do it at this point, and it does not mean that you failed. It means that they made some decisions. Now, much of the dark has been removed, but from the 4th until the 8th, there was a whole bunch of activity that was going on to release even more energy at certain points in the world, of which I won't say. So I, for one, was completely knocked out and did not expect it whatsoever. Why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing it with you to let you know that, yep, I'm human. I go through all these things as well. And a lot of times, again, I get hit first. And this will hopefully normalize some of the things that you may go through. May you not have to go through what I went through. But when these extra energies are being released and removed from the planet, the biggest thing for me that hit this time which is usually what happens to me when I go to a specific site to do a clearing. That's why this came and hit me out of the blue, because I was not at a site. I was not doing a clearing. I wasn't expecting the energy to come. I had been, in a sense, misled by all the green in the HP indexes. So I was just merrily going along. La-di-da, everything's great. I felt great. Things were going well. And then all of a sudden, I literally just got knocked out. Friggin' pains, unbelievable pains in my joints. My shoulder rotating, the whole cuff area was just so sore. My knees were not just popping you can listen to my Rice Krispies video. It wasn't just the popping. I mean, this was intense pain. And then there was crushing pain. I felt as though for almost 48 hours, a crushing pain, as if you were stuck underneath a truck or something, and the pressure on your body is so strong that literally for 3 or 4 hours, I had a hard time catching my breath. It was so excruciating that the two things, of course, that I did eventually go to use were, there's something called arnica. And arnica is an herb that comes in tablet form that you put under your tongue that helps with pain. I did use some extra hemp oil. And then I put on megahertz healing of dolphin and whale sounds, because I knew I needed to try to get some rest, and I had to definitely keep breathing. So the good news is most of you will never have to go through any of this. But when negative entities are leaving the collective, we have physical results. And for us, it can be pain. So when you are trying to figure out what's going on with you, the first thing you do, of course, is you kind of, in a sense, scan your body. You see where the pain is coming from. Then you try to put it to your energetic points, which some people call chakras, which, of course, I told you there are way more than 7, and you can listen to that video. And then what you do is you try to figure out, is there something emotional attached to this? For example, was there something emotional to my breathing? Was there something emotional to why the pain was hitting in those places? When I started to clue in to the fact that this was not me, because of course I did the clearing to figure out what was going on, the next step was just to keep clearing, because by about the 40th hour, I realized way more was going on. And so I had to really work to move energies. So when that happens, I'm pretty much totally immobilized and am in meditation or some state to go and do clearings. So between the 4th and the 8th, I mean, I had very few awake and out hours. I did manage to get out yesterday, finally, thank goodness. And it lifted by yesterday, probably around 11ish in the morning, so that I had a great day yesterday, of being able to get out and about and all of that. And the great news is we did another fantastic job of removing even more. Now, my point to the normal light worker out there who is not doing this type of work purposefully, or they don't realize that they're doing it, or again, you kind of got blindsided like I did in this case. Understand that as the last forces of negativity are being pushed out, that says they have to hold on to whatever they possibly can, which means that if you allow yourself to doubt yourself at this point, or replay old scenarios or continue to put yourself in those old situations, or again, self-sabotage in some format, which I'm going to re-include my old video on self-sabotage at the end of this, then you have a higher chance of allowing that in. But don't freak yourself out. Take control of it. I do not consent. I do not consent to these. They can go find another place. This between 12/12 and 12/21, our solstice, we are again clarifying as a collective that we fight and are for light and love. Unconditional love. No more games, no more playing. The new grids are in. We are working from them. So whatever comes in is not going to last long, but you need to put the intent in your mind and pay attention to it. Because the beauty of this is the minute that you realize what's going on with yourself, you stop with the guilt trips. You stop saying that it's totally you. It could be something with the collective. And just calming yourself down makes them not interested because you have no fear. Or if you have no fear, there's nothing to attach to. That is a little bit different than when I work with negative entities. So when I'm doing it, I'm choosing to go in and clear. All right. You have the choice not to do that. You have the choice just to say, no, you're not interested. But there's a difference between saying, no, you're not interested, and then going back to all the old behaviors, which are showing that you're interested. Okay? So action does count, intent does count, trying does count. So you really want to get your act together on self-sabotage and negative thinking, cognitive distortions, all the games that one plays with themselves. But in this case, if between the 4th and the 8th, something was happening to you, I wanted to share the fact that it might not just have been you. You may have been feeling stuff from the collective. It's the same way that I had told you about the earthquakes. I don't even remember when those were now, but they happened in a section of New Jersey where I had lived. And the funny part is, it's specifically right now where the drones are. So remember, so much is happening behind the scenes, but these are wonderful things, and they are going to bring fruition and new life to our world, definitely between March and June of next year. And of course, as I always say, I hope it happens way sooner than that. But we are making positive change, and we are doing it as a collective, and you will pick up on this. You will pick up on this. So do not be hard on yourself. But again, do set intentions of what it is that you have to work on, and do follow through on it. All right. So when we make it past solstice, we are going to, as the energies continue, from what I'm being shown, they're going to start to be more fun for us and get easier, and really see time just kind of lapse and go away and move us into things that interest us, bringing new people into our lives, getting finances resolved, so many things that will be like a quick whirlwind. And as this is happening, of course, I mean, there's still the timeline shifting and the highest and best. So the most important thing is continuing to remain grounded, anything you can do with Mother Earth, but don't take things personally. Do not engage. I know I have said this many times, but the only way to win is not to play their game. Holidays are coming. People get sensitive. let it go. Oh, it was so funny too, because like a week ago, I was walking, and I was by a lake. And as I walked out from the lake, I should have taken a picture, but when I walk, I don't have my phone on me. It said the sign was explaining water filtration, and there was a big phrase at the bottom: let it go. There was my sign in synchronicity. I was laughing because I've said that so much. Let it go with flow. So, mastery is about understanding and allowing people to be where they need to be without you taking it personally. If somebody makes a decision that you feel is not a good decision, and they are over 8 years old, they are going to need to make these decisions for their own life. And again, with the new grids, the younger ones are going to have a way better chance at making healthy decisions for themselves than some of us have. Because we had to go through all the old broken belief systems that are all getting deconstructed, because we're rising completely above the matrix, and the veil continues to just completely break down. So there are many things to be excited about, but I did want to pop on and just share that that doesn't mean that you're going to feel fantastic, 24 hours a day, unfortunately, because we are still evolving. Our light bodies are still getting integrated. And that's where I'm going to do the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Number 2, there's no junk DNA. You know how that information was missing a little bit? So for those who have heard before, I am putting in after this the funny personal ascension story of mine, symptoms from about a year ago, I think. And then the missing piece, again, wink, wink, sneak, sneak. Okay. And then there's other information about, how great it is that you don't fit in. How, yes, you are alone. But the beauty of self mastery is that you can be alone and start to feel really good and start to co create and create the new universe around you. And there's nothing like it, because you are not getting drained or siphoned from other people, and you are not draining or siphoning them, because so many codependent relationships and enabling relationships are all about the negative belief systems and the lies that we've been taught that lead to mental illness. And I did do a video on that one as well. So there's that one, and there's self-sabotage. The mental illness video right now is standing alone in YouTube, but I am putting together a group all related to depression. I don't know when I'll get that out, because I really just wanted to pop on today and share with you why you might have just gone through some crazy. All right. And just send out my love. Exciting things are continuing to move. You can make it through another season. And again, it's always more important to focus on the beautiful solstice, beautiful Mother Earth, beautiful growing and bringing in new light, attaching to the new grids, and letting the old and broken fall away. I love you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my beautiful light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings alike. Today is January 23rd, 2023. And yes, I just noticed 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Numbers are important. Synchronicity is important. But the message that I received today is we have opened the floodgates to light. There is no going back. And although I got more, I was prompted to tell a story about how Ascension symptoms are not easy. I will be posting more and more information as the days come, but I wanted to share with you that I am indeed a Starseed. I have come and embodied here on this planet at this time. It is my last cycle. And this last round being the most important because we are actually ascending. And ascending symptoms are not easy. They are not for the faint of heart. And for those of you who are either sitting alone or even amidst people and feeling completely alone, as everybody is trying to tell you from the enlightened or Starseed community, you are actually not alone. You are watched over second by second. From the stars, from your soul tribe, from your family, no matter where you are. The most important thing is that you have to open yourself up to receive messages that may not seem the norm. Let me tell you, there is nothing normal about this process. And the sooner you can let go of that, the easier it will be on you. I was a psychologist for years, and right now I'm trying to bridge psychologists into intuitives so that we all work together, because the most important thing right now is to bring light to Earth and create a new Earth for all of us. So let me share a beautiful story, a hard one, about Ascension symptoms. Yes, the ringing in the ears, the dizziness, the feeling like you are only half here, dreams, so vivid that you feel like when you wake up, you might not even be in the same place. So I had to go get groceries one day, and I drove along, and these days I have to be incredibly aware of where I am, and I do have to check in with my higher self and perhaps my star family. I do not know who they all are yet. And I have to turn around to myself and say, okay, is it okay to drive? You feel okay to drive? Is it good to go out? Because the energies are coming through my body so strongly that literally I am vibrating and creating pockets of heat so strong that if I'm standing in a room, literally, the windows fog up. So I drove along, I went to the little market to pick up some fresh fruit and some veggies and some different things. And about 15 minutes in, I heard, it's time to go, in my head. And the it's time to go was a higher self feeling. Maybe even higher. Perhaps that was my star family. It was not the booming voice that I've heard in the past, which I call the voice of divine, the voice of God. It was just, it's time to go. So I stood there for a few seconds and I asked, well, can I buy my groceries before I go? Because these are the crazy things one thinks of. Or do I have to go like right this second? And they turned around and they said, speed it up and go. So I decided I would go to grab just the last couple things. I booted my way to the checkout line. As I got to the checkout line, there was a man at the checkout line who was holding his head and literally like almost crying. He could barely function, and he had to check me out. And all of a sudden, I got this really strong feeling that some sort of energy was coming in. And whatever that energy was coming in, it could be positive for some, it could be negative for others. So I helped him check me out. There was nothing more that I could do except put a protective shield around myself, which we can all explain to you at some point. There's many light workers talking about this now. And I booted out, got into my truck, and the thing is that I had a 45-minute drive back to where I was staying. So first of all, I was like, can I even drive? Because when some of the Ascension symptoms hit me, they are so strong, they literally knock me out. So I got in the car, I drove, it was about 45 minutes. I stayed the speed limit because I didn't need any attention drawn to me. Got to the place, brought the groceries in, and literally within about 5 minutes, I laid down, and the wave that hit me was so strong. So I thought, well, let me get up and get a glass of water just to help with the vibrations. As I got up, you would have thought that I was on a yacht or a boat. I don't know if you've ever been on a boat where there's like waves so high that literally the boat can't stay straight. I was rocking. The world was falling around me. There were sprinkles in the air, and I was as nauseous as I've ever been. It was horrible. The feelings were horrible. I literally had to grab a couple, like the wall, to help myself get back to lay down. After having laid down, this did not stop. The nausea came, cramping came, unbelievable just spinning and anything and everything you could think of. And it went on for probably 20, 30 minutes. And a couple times I did kind of burst into tears and say, I don't know how much more I can take of this. I understand that I am moving and ascending and going towards the light and anchoring in light. I understand all of that, but I'm not sure how much more I could take. And I did hear another 10 minutes. And so I was like, okay, I can do anything for 10 minutes. I can do anything for 10 minutes. I can do anything for 10 minutes. So guys, I just wanted to share with you, this is not an easy journey. But it's important that we let each other know that it's going to be okay. I survived that. Others are surviving it. You can survive it too. It will not kill you. It will make you stronger. And the great news of all of it is, as we adjust our frequency and our energy, we're bringing in new dimensions. And these new dimensions and these higher vibrations give us contact to the universe. No matter what your belief is, stay open, try to stay present, try to stay in the now. Do not necessarily go running off to doctors and medical professions who are trained in a system that is old and outdated if you can. Do your best to love on yourself and know, as I was told, we have opened the floodgates to light. There is no going back. I send you so much love for your journey.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings. Well, if I haven't pushed the boundaries enough, this one is going to set some people over the edge, but I'm going to share it anyway. In 2010, I started sharing on radio shows that there is nothing in our system that is junk DNA. That entire hype was created because if we walked in our full power with all of our DNA strands connected, we have so much strength that we literally will take down any negativity, any system that serves itself, and any system that is out to hurt the people. Not only did I share that in more technical ways, which I won't do here, only to say, again, there is no junk DNA, is that In 2010, I started sharing that children were going to start being born with triple helix and above DNA. So when you start to come upon children who are now remembering their past lives, where they came from before they arrived, you know you have a very, very special child there, and they are one of the light leaders for later on down the road. It is so important that we care for these children, that we understand what is happening with them, and that we expand our minds. Now, it is also true that these children with these higher helix DNA, these DNA strands can go all the way up to 12 strands, which is what we require to function optimally. We also have people who are operating with even more DNA strands than that. Can you go to a place, a doctor, who is going to be able to do a test to prove which helix DNA, how many are connected? Absolutely not. They don't want you to know this. As a matter of fact, you may want to reconsider why anybody is going through 23andMe or any other group. Because while you think you are just testing for hereditary marks, where you came from, there is another agenda behind that. Because they are always seeking and looking for the special children along the way. So you want to start to take control over what you allow to happen to your beautiful children. These children were never, ever meant to have anything break the skin or be injected, ever. We have been programmed year after year after year to be in a situation where we are believing individuals, professionals, and walking ourselves up to these situations, into these situations that are simply not healthy for us. Since 2010, I have been begging people to pay attention to this. Now, what happened in 2019, 2020 should have opened and awoken a lot of people. But has it? I'm not sure that it has. I am not sure that people are listening. Are you ready to listen now? Are you absolutely ready to realize that we are moving in a spiritual direction and that frequencies are how our bodies work? Our frequencies is how we bring online all of our triple DNA helix and beyond so that we are able to function in a new world. There are people who are going to go to 3D planets. That's fine. Let them go. But if you are listening to this, you are a very special parent, a very special grandparent. You care so much about the children that you will stop letting things happen to them. You will start to pay attention to what is in every product that you are putting into them, whether it is food, whether it is medication, whatever it may be. And let me share something with you. Those who have been defined as autists, they are not autist in the way that it is clinically told. These children operate at a different vibrational frequency, and they need support systems for people who understand how these frequencies work so that we can help them grow, not stunt them. That's as much as I'm going to say on the topic at this moment because I know it is so touchy. But if you'd like to have more information, if you have one of these children, grandchildren, friend, whatever, please go to my membership that's now set up at buymeacoffee.com. I'll include the link below. It's $5 a month, and it's simply a place that we can discuss these things without me getting taken down again. All right. I wish you all a beautiful day. Please expand your mind. I send you so much love, and I am so honored that you care enough about your children that you are willing to make change. Love you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings. The biggest phrases that I hear over and over and over again are, but I just don't fit in. I'm so alone. I feel completely lost. I can't figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with my life or what the direction is. Well, the first thing is number one, you so are not alone because many, many people are feeling exactly these same feelings. And most of those people are light warriors, light bringers, way showers, even the walk ins, starseeds, the wanderers. And the reason is you're not supposed to fit in. Embrace it, love it, be excited by it. Walk out and go, I just don't fit in. I don't fit in anywhere. Nope, don't fit in. And the reason being is there are certain experiences in your life that you have needed to go through completely alone to make you who you are today. If you had one of the perhaps parents that was coddling and loving and unconditional, but it was your journey to learn how to handle all situations on your own without ever having unconditional love, then anyone in your immediate family, including your friends, including any future spouses, if that was in your soul contract, no matter what you tried to do to ask for help and support, or want to feel loved and supported, or want to have somebody have the answers for you, you will find yourself sitting there totally alone. And they're not going to come from other people because you are being raised up. And being raised up means that you are being taught in every episode of your life how to fend for yourself, step up for yourself, take direction, and lead. You are going to be a future guide for our higher dimensional planet. So, yes, you are correct. You don't fit in. And yes, the reason you are alone so much right now is because the only answers that exist for you are within. They are not coming from outside sources. Yes, we all need to listen to some information from the outside because it helps us put things in perspective. Sometimes it shows us how much we've learned. Sometimes it simply goes to our gut and we're like, no way am I putting myself back in that situation. Everything is being plotted and planned to help you build that strength, to help you walk out on your own and know that you are doing what you need to do. The fact that you are listening and feeling that you don't fit in, that you are alone, or that you feel lost is great. It's fabulous. You should get excited because the truth is now you're listening to your soul. Your soul has a goal for you. It has something to give you that's going to make you happier than you've ever been before. But the problem is, you set up these external limitations of how you think life should be. Until you can break through those boundaries of what you think your life should look like, until you can stop comparing yourself to how other people are acting, what they are doing, and what's working for them, and go into yourself, into your heart, connect with Source, that is where your answers are. Do not worry if no one has ever walked that path before. Look a little strange, look a little fun, be a little crazy, have a little fun. Do whatever you can do to move yourself through it because what you've done in the past is not working. If it was working, you would be comfortable not fitting in. If it was working, you'd be like, uh oh, I'm so happy being alone. What's wrong with me? I enjoy my own time. I enjoy being with myself. I enjoy not having to have the responsibilities or burdens that I had placed on myself previously, thinking that's what I was supposed to do with my life. So what? I feel a little lost. The more lost you feel, and the more open you are to gracing and accepting feeling completely lost, the quicker you will find a couple blocks, a couple different directions, a couple signs and synchronicities that will show up to point you into a new place. But you have to be willing to let go. Tell yourself, I let go, I release, I will let universe and source lead me, because truly everything else has been taken away and I'm not fond of these feelings. I want to move through and embrace the very highest being of myself and start to feel joy again at the things that I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm seeing, and start to pay attention to little things when you're out in nature, which everybody needs to try every single solitary day. Take a look at something and go, wow, that's a leaf. Oops, that could be a fairy. Nope, that's a leaf. Play with the universe. The more you can play and push your boundaries, the more you are able to break free of what the matrix has conditioned you to believe. Go back and listen to my other videos about conditioning and ways to break through, how you need to save yourself first. If you are not operating at your highest and best, then you cannot help other people. You are the gift to the universe. So go be it. Love you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings. Well, today I'm going to talk about self-sabotage. Oh my. And how we dumb and numb ourselves down to be able to fit in this world. And as I was working on it this morning, it popped into my head, hey, higher dimensionals, they don't quote fit in, they expand out. And that's absolutely true. The universe is always expanding, always growing. And the reason is they don't want to be boxed in. They don't want to fit in. They want to move out into harmony and expand, learn, and grow. So let's talk about for a few minutes the psychological aspects and the spiritual multidimensional aspects of why we do sabotage ourselves and why we do dumb or numb ourselves down. So what am I talking about? Well, self-sabotage is where we put ourselves in situations or continue to hang out with people, or we flood our bodies with unhealthy toxins simply to fit in and do what others are doing. And what happens is, while we are in the process of fitting in, we are literally stopping ourselves from enjoying the beautiful creative energy of Source that will give you a better high, will give you more energy and more motivation than any substance you can put into your body. Now, I will not guilt, condemn, or judge anyone, because the fact is, being a human on this planet is so very hard. And you can pretty much guarantee that if you're a light worker or a starseed or one of the others, the wanderers, all the others, you have probably had some form of addiction at some time. Whether the addiction is pleasing people, whether the addiction is a substance, whether the addiction is an alcohol, no matter what it is, you most likely, in trying to find out who you are, experience some of these things. Now, traditional therapy will say that you are doing all of this because you have low self-esteem or you have anxiety. And those two things are very true. A lot of times, people who don't know what to do with themselves or really feel just so different and odd and just can't figure out why they're here or what they're doing, it's often because they can't move themselves through that feeling and out to the other side where they've actually claimed their sovereignty, they've claimed their master of their being, and they're going out and creating. So if you are stuck in that situation where you do suffer from low self-esteem, yes, that is one thing you absolutely want to work on. And you work on that by going within and figuring out all the different ways that you can come back to center, come back to yourself, and start to empower yourself. So many times that means leaving situations and people you've been used to. So anxiety is also often a sign that something is just not vibrating with you at the right level. Now, I want to separate general anxiety from the anxiety that people are going through right this moment in Ascension symptoms. If you are a light worker or a Starseed, Wonder, any of those, and you are getting tuned up at this moment, you are going to go through all sorts of feelings, okay? Things that you thought you resolved a long time ago. All of a sudden, you'll have anxiety. All of a sudden, you won't sleep. All of a sudden, you're vibrating so much that your heart feels like it's going to palpitate outside of your body. So many symptoms. You have flu symptoms, and then you have rashes, and then you have fevers, and then you have chills. You name it, you're going through all of it. So I'm not talking about those Ascension symptoms. I'm talking about the things that then we do to self-medicate because we can't figure out what's going on with us. Again, I am not going to say or judge someone, but the point is to pay attention to why you are doing the things that you are doing and how much of it do you really need. So the first thing is always to start to pay attention, to realize where you may be overdoing it, and then take baby steps to start to eliminate that from your either moment to moment, day to day, month to month activities. Because you will find that the more you let go of those things that affect your energy level, the more energy will come back to you so that you can have clear mind, clearer thinking, and you can start to come up with ideas and a whole new life that's going to serve you better. There is never, ever a reason now to dumb or numb yourself down with a group of others who are doing that. And why do I say now? There was a whole flux period, at least since 2001, but probably well before that, after the 80s convergence. And not enough people were able to help others understand how this ascension process is working, really get to enough people about the fact that we are multidimensional. And all of a sudden, these boxes started getting created. Oh, you're this type of spiritualist. Oh, you're this type of guru. Oh, this is what you do. And those boxes, unfortunately or fortunately, created some communities that ended up going in a direction that left the masses out. Now, that could very well have been what the soul contract was. But we're at a different stage right now. We're at a stage of needing to take self-responsibility and a stage of having a chance that if you just put a little effort into it, the universe is going to come really help push you through it. So let's say that I'm just picking something, okay? Pot was your habit. And all day long, you're convincing yourself that you're smoking pot because it gives you access to higher dimensions, or it calms you down, or it lets you get through something. There are true reasons that, quote, some medical marijuana, mostly in tincture form, actually not even being smoked, can work with your system. It is, in a sense, a gift from the stars, but it needs to be used in the proper way. Just like in the old days, they would have appropriate uses for some natural substances. The problem is, if you're guzzling gallons and gallons of high spirit alcohol, you are opening yourselves up to negative entities. And you are not honoring the beingness. You are giving your power away. So you want to ask yourself, in each one of these circumstances, am I giving my power away? Do I know why I'm giving my power away at this moment? And is this something I want to continue to do? Now, again, like I always say, maybe your soul contract was to come down to planet Earth and be a hedonist and just party all the time, 24/7, and just live it up with no concern for others. And you have a service to self contract. Well, that's your right. But if you are a light worker who is just starting to realize that they literally have dumbed themselves down or numbed themselves down because they didn't fit in, or because they couldn't figure out what else to do, or because they've been convinced that this addiction, which often does have physical components, I'm not going to deny that, but they've convinced themselves that it either runs in their family or it's something else, and therefore they can't get over it. I'm sharing with you, you absolutely can. And you can let it go much more quickly than you ever could in the past, even within 20 to 30 days. Even for some, almost instantly when they make that decision, because it will resonate so highly with their soul that they'll all of a sudden walk away from it. It's the same thing that happens when you start to change your diet. If you are in the ascension phase, you're going to find you can't even figure out what to do. You may have been a meat eater, and then all of a sudden you just literally cannot stomach meat at all. And this is not from the perspective of only high vibrating individuals will only eat vegetables and fruit. It's not from that perspective. It's from the perspective that your body will start to tweak itself, and it will start to realize that to function optimally, it will need higher vibration foods. And yes, those happen to be fruits and vegetables, organic, of course. Anything that is not contaminated is non-GMO. And what happens is it's like turning and tuning a channel. And the great news is, instead of struggling and struggling and struggling over it, it almost becomes natural, and you start to go with the flow with it versus totally fighting it. There are so many reasons why I ate meat for the period of time that I ate meat. I never liked the concept of it because of the fact of animal cruelty. But I did learn to respect how to honor a sacrifice that was made, the food, the gift, and if it needed to be protein at that time and it was actually a meat source, If you are honoring it and your body needs that because we are in a human body, then you can feel totally fine about it. You don't have to necessarily move forward and just jump into either veganism or vegetarianism. So the whole point is the amount of guilt you place on something is going to hold you down and make you continue in a self-sabotage or numbing, dumbing down way. If you are listening to others and just going along with the crowd because that's what they do, you are dumbing or numbing yourself down. You have to step into the source being that you are if you want to rise above the duality of the matrix. You do not want to fit in. You want to expand out. You want to feel joy. You don't want to be controlled by these things that are out there, these addictive substances, these toxic foods, the chemicals. You want your body to get so nicely tuned that they could dump it right on top of you and you would feel better than ever because you've tuned your body to push all of that away. Does it mean making change? Oh boy, it does. And that is not easy. But that change means oftentimes you no longer go to those places, you no longer hang with those people, you just start to walk yourself in a different direction. Sometimes it means changing your schedule up a bit so that the things that you are used to that we were programmed for, like every Friday night, we're going to party so hardy that we can't move again until Sunday. I mean, we've all probably done it, right? I'm no angel. The fact is that we were trained that those were the things that you were supposed to do. You were supposed to come home at the end of a hard work week and party. That's what you were supposed to do. When you traveled and you met with other people, you didn't get together to meet with them. You got together to party. Half the time you never even remembered what happened. What do you think weddings are? How many people remember big events? So many people have been programmed that this is what you do. No, no more. The people who are going in that direction will happily be carried off to another 3D planet where they can live out their soul contracts until the day they are gone. You don't have to change them. You don't have to tell them how it is. And you certainly do not have to participate in it if you've decided you want to be a higher dimensional being and pull in your true source. You have the right, the ability, the strength, everything within you to say no more. Nope, no more of that. I'm changing my schedule. I'm changing the people I hang with. I'm changing the things that I put into my body, even if it's only a little baby step. Every little baby step tells the universe that you are ready for change. And I promise you, you make that little step, universe is going to come running in from every direction. New people will start showing up, or you'll have new contacts, or you'll start getting your real thrill, your real excitement, your real energy from others who've left all that behind. And when energy comes from source and it is creative and loving and fun, you are in that power, that bliss, that glory for so many hours that you almost forget that you are living on planet Earth. And this is why it is so important. We don't want to sabotage ourselves. Or if we do a quick course correction. We don't want to numb or dumb ourselves down any longer. We must be accountable for our thoughts, our mind control, for what it is that we want to pull into our universe and our daily living. And those gifts help us move into that higher dimensional expansion. And that expansion of being able to have resolved things and work through things, your dark night of the soul, whatever somebody wants to call it, leads you totally into becoming a new person, one who actually gets the most incredible joy out of simply helping and being there for others. You need nothing in return. The fact that you could, A, help yourself to live your highest and best will automatically bring this source of love and light and wonderful energy everywhere you go, even if you don't say a word. Just the process of you walking into a store or popping into somebody on the street or bringing your energy next to a tree, all of those higher dimensional vibrations will literally expand. And the crazy part is the world around you changes. You no longer are part of all that icky, dark, deep, manipulated societal drama. You are free. I wish you all the freedom in the world. Take a look at some of the things that you're doing during the day. Come up with some easy little quick changes, baby steps, baby steps. You don't have to do the whole thing overnight, little by little. And then ask your body, is this helping you, body? Is it not? I know it sounds crazy, but your body is there to work with you. And you will actually start knowing by how it responds what it likes and what it doesn't like. So I wish you a wonderful, expansive day. I send you so much love for never, ever fitting in and going with the crowds anymore, and for finding and bringing new people into your beingness, into your space, into your universe that bring you joy and unconditional love and all the great things. So if you like these messages, please make sure to hit like, subscribe, and share. I was finally able to set up Buy Me a Coffee / Doc Starseed with a capital N at the end. Universe did that. I didn't do that. It should be Doc Starseed, but I guess the universe has seen me. So if you feel like going over there and dropping in $1 or $2, that would be lovely. And or I'm working on the membership. So I'm just setting the membership at $5 a month for now, just to get us going. Ideally, I'm looking for people who want to help themselves. So it's not just a place to be able to put information out, but if there are individuals who feel like they're at a turning point or need a catalyst or want a little bit more help, I'm starting the membership to start to be able to reach out to those individuals and find a better way to get more messages out and to help others. I am so very grateful to all of you. I wish you a wonderful, beautiful, just love-filled for yourself day. Love you.